Yes, so good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Please confirm.
Yes, Ms. Bandhu.
Yes, so thank you for confirming. Hope all of you doing good. Well, so shall we wait for others or we should continue? Let's wait for a few minutes. So in the meantime, what I did last time, I think what is. Can you tell me what we did last time? Anyone?
So we did chapter 2 and 3. We talk about differences between life conditions and life circumstances, Maslow, vulnerability.
Did I cover resilience and protective strategies?
No, not yet.
Okay, so today we are going to see resilience and protective strategies. Okay, so you can take note. So today's chapter is about resilience and protective strategies. Okay. So how assignment is going on? Are you working on that? When is the deadline?
1st October.
Okay. So you still have time. Start working on that if not yet, as you will be in big trouble if you wait for the last minute to start. Okay. Okay, can you see my slide? C'est bon?
Oui.
Okay, so as mentioned earlier, that today I'm going to talk about resilience and protective strategies. So when talking about resilience, what comes to your mind? Anyone? When talking about resilience, especially in terms of social work, what comes in your mind? Should I start to pick and choose, or you will start to speak?
Monsieur, c'est qui n'est capable de surmonter.
Oui. Qui peut faire monter la montée?
S'il y a une difficulté, ça veut dire, even je nous trouve difficile, mais nous allons avec, nous essayer de combattre.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Anyone else?
It is the capacity to withdraw from one difficulty.
Okay. Can you say it in English, please? The capacity to?
The capacity to recover quickly from difficult situations.
Okay. Can you? Okay. Yeah, that's good. Can you tell me what are these difficult situations you're mentioning?
In social work, maybe some ethical dilemmas.
Okay. Well, yes. Well said. So let's see. What do you understand by the concept of resilience? We are going to see that. Why understanding resilience is important in social work. So when talking about resilience, we classify it at different levels. We are going to see that. Factors underlie resilience, theories, and resilience strategies. So resilience has been defined as a universal capacity which allows a person, group, or community to prevent, minimize, or overcome the damaging effects of adversity. This is a definition by Goldberg in his research 1995. So another definition as per Becker, it is also refers to the dynamic process. So here the emphasis is on dynamic because we'll see that because it keeps on changing. It keeps on changing means the problems keeps on changing, the difficulties keeps on changing, and the situation also changes. Okay, so that's why it is here, it is referred as a dynamic process encompassing positive adaptation within the context of significant adversity. On the one hand, resilience describes the ability of the individual, family, or community to cope. So it's not only about overcoming, as you mentioned, about life adversities, difficult situation. Someone mentioned about dilemmas, etc. It's not about just overcoming that. It's also about to cope. Your ability as a social worker to cope with these problems, with these difficult situations, with difficulties of life. So what are your coping strategies? All right. So everyone have that skills of coping, but you as a social worker, you should demonstrate the extra coping capabilities and capacity when it comes to resolving your own problem first, okay, because you are a human being. Before a social work, before becoming a social worker, don't forget you are a human being, And as every human being, you suffer from depression, you face difficult life situation, you have stress. So you as a social worker, how you overcome these stressful situation, depression, burnout at work, etc. Okay. So on the other hand, it also refers to knowing how to overcome such adversities by learning from them and becoming stronger. So becoming stronger is not, here it's not mean that going to the gym physically, becoming stronger physically, going to gym, have muscle. Here stronger means intellectual capabilities, cognitive capabilities, and emotional capabilities to overcome different and difficult life situation. Right? So these twofold aspects of resilience, which is not limited to the ability to resist, but also involve the capacity to reconstruct. Another key word here is about reconstructing. So when talking about reconstructing, anyone can tell me that, what do you understand by reconstructing? Let's listen to Raghu, Shobha. Shobha, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes. So what do you understand by reconstructing? What to reconstruct?
To rebuild the
What to rebuild? A house?
no uh,
See. To rebuild what? Anyone can help?
to restore ability to cope to the situation.
Benjamin?
To cope with the situation.
No. Okay. No, reconstruct means to reconstruct. That's why I was asking you the question. To reconstruct what? According to
Monsieur, a relationships that has been broken, a broken family.
Yeah. For example, it can be reconstruct a relationship, reconstructing a family, or reconstructing yourself means your way of thinking. If you used to have some biasness, some perception that leads to bias, so reconstructing your way of thinking. Yeah. So this is about resilience. So if I have to qualify resilience in simple words for you to understand it better in Creole, I will say resilience means tomber, tomber, relever, means to fall down, but the ability to stand up with more, we'll say, with more powerful thoughts, with more efforts. Okay. So tomber, relever. This is about resilience. So as a social worker, yes, you have period that you face some difficult life situations, you face some stress, you face some burnout, as I already mentioned, but your ability and capability to resist these difficult life situations should be there, because you are a social worker, and as a social worker you should have that capacity. This is a skills in itself. Resilience is considered as a skills that you need to build. Okay, it is not going to be on book, and in book you will have it like theories, you will have like strategies what you can do, but the real life situation, to be resilient in real life, you need to learn it by yourself and apply it according to your situation, because each and every individual is unique. For example, Devika will be unique compared to Devina. Okay, Gopal will be unique compared to Marie, Lilette, etc. So you see, so each of you will be different and unique. So your problem also will be different. So this is about your self problem. But when talking about social work, you will be dealing with population, you will be dealing with public, you will be dealing with client. So dealing with client, especially if you are doing clinical social work, if you're in the field of clinical social work, means you're dealing with problems of people, okay, like social security officers. Man, social security officers,
Oui, oui, monsieur.
yes. So Devika, your position at social security, you're senior.
No, higher social security officer.
Yeah. So higher social security officer. In which department do you work?
Social aid.
Yeah, so social aid, you are doing clinical, I believe you do clinical social work right now. So applying clinical social work, you have lots of problems related to your client, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Problem pas manqué. Problem pas
Beaucoup.
manqué. So
Pas manqué.
you have, yeah, you will have clients that they are in difficulties, that they are in problem, depression, stress, etc., vulnerable client, and you need to empower them. You need to provide them with some motivation, okay, and you need to you should know how to make them resilient, okay. So you need to prepare them to be resilient, all right. Maintenant, si tombé, vous avez besoin de monter les comment bien relever. Oui, non, Devika. Habitué faire ça?
Oui, oui, c'est vrai.
Ouais, mais c'est moi. But if you yourself as a social worker, you don't apply the technique of resilience in your life, what are you going to teach your client? You got me? Si vous-même pas appliquer, okay, when it comes to how to be resilient when it comes to problems, so how you're going to counsel your clients in terms of resilience, you see. So it is important you yourself as a social worker to apply the techniques and strategies in terms of resilience. And probably you're going to get a question on that. Every year I set questions, but I don't know if this year I'm going to prepare the paper because since I don't know if I will be back. Quand vous êtes l'examen, vous avez une idée? Vous avez une idée quand vous êtes dans les autres examens? Décembre? Qu'est-ce que vous êtes?
Non, monsieur.
Les saisons commencent en août, septembre. Effectivement, décembre, vous êtes dans les autres examens, non? Non?
Non, pas
Ou ça, janvier?
nous pas un feedback.
Non, mais pas nécessairement un feedback, ça. Saison commence août. Août, septembre, octobre, novembre. Parce que pour moi, je vais finir ma classe, nous dernière session, c'est le 26 octobre. Mais octobre, novembre, décembre, je peux l'examen définitivement. Hein? All right, so après l'examen, pour end of November, we start of December probably. Yeah, so each year there is a question on resilience. So if I'm preparing papers this semester as well, I don't know if I will, because the Open University didn't told me anything that if I'm going to be the paper setter or no, I don't know. But if I'm preparing the paper, definitively you are going to get a question on this chapter, because this is a very important chapter when it comes to resilience, because as a social worker, you need to demonstrate the resilience strategies and capabilities. I want to see that. All right, so please take note. Now, okay, so these are against definition. So in your paper, I need to see if I'm giving you all these definitions. So you see there are lots of definitions starting from Rothberg, Becker, and the next slide also is talk about Cohen. Okay, so if I'm giving all these definitions, so I'm expecting in your scripts to see a definition when it comes to resilience. Okay, so now let's see developing emotional resilience. So social work and stress. So social workers need to develop the emotional resilience. Yes, so you remember I already told you that when it comes to resilience, means resilience from a cognitive perspective. Resilience doesn't mean you need to be stronger physically only. Yeah, you need to have some physical strength. That's normal, but it doesn't mean that. Excuse me. Yes, but it doesn't mean that you need to go to the gym to do weightlifting, etc. No, but you need to train. Yes, so please give me. I'm getting an urgent call. Please give me some minutes. Yes, you're here. Sorry for that interruption. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I told you to look on some strategies when it comes to resilience. On essaie OD. Qu'est-ce êtes? Une recette OD, une stratégie, une résilience. Oui, non. Personne OD, strategies, délicat. On a besoin de messages. On a some strategies when it comes to resilience. On OD.
Non, monsieur, pas rodé.
Okay, so let's continue. So developing emotional resilience. So social work and stress. So social workers need to develop the emotional resilience. So yes, so when it comes to resilience, you can at what level, different levels of resilience. Allez, vous êtes. It can be emotional and next. About emotional. Apart from emotional, what types of emotional you are aware of?
Intellectual.
Yes. Intellectual. Ako. Et puis?
Cognitive.
Yes. Et puis? Anyone else? Okay, write it down. Okay, so the aspect of so types of resilience. Write it down. Types of resilience. Can you hear me? Types of resilience. So resilience can come.
Oui, monsieur.
So resilience can come in different forms. Write it down. Resilience can come in different forms. There are 4 main types of resilience. Resilience can come in different forms. There are 4 main types of resilience. Number 1, physical resilience. Second, mental resilience, also known as cognitive resilience. Emotional resilience, and social resilience. So how many types of resilience there are? How many types of resilience there are?
4
4
types.
types.
4 types of resilience. So if you get a question about the 4 types of resilience, I hope that you can answer this. Okay? So let's look one by one. So physical resilience. So physical resilience refers to how the body. Physical resilience refers to how the body deals with change and recovers from physical demands. I repeat, physical resilience refers to how the body deals with change and recovers from physical demands, illnesses, and injuries. Research suggests that this type of resilience plays an important role in health. Research suggests that this type means, en bracket, physical resilience plays an important role in health. So it affects how people age, as well as how they respond and recover from physical stress and medical issues. En bracket est clair? Whitson. En bracket tout est clair? Whitson et al. Whitson et al. Then says 2016. Okay. In bracket, you write Whitson et al. 2016. Close the bracket. So this is about physical resilience. So have you ever seen or met someone that they don't like when they become old? Anyone? Vinesh, Sukan, on a déjà rencontré quelqu'un ou quelqu'une? Comment que le vieillissement avec lui, il n'est pas content? Ça te dit, tu es une vieille. Il commence à irriter. Vinesh? No, Vinesh n'est pas là. Anyone else? Have you ever met this type of person? They don't like to become old?
Oui, monsieur.
Oui, elle est là. Qui veut le faire?
On peut trouver cette figure sans et après ça, à chaque fois qu'ils se pouvent devant ou je t'habille, compared to and surtout côté de l'habillement, je montre comme si je restais encore jeune. Je t'habille, un peu d'un petit bonne jeunesse. Je pas accepter qu'ils se peuvent vieux. Je te colorier, je te CV, je peux dire oh non, je t'en still good, je te fais le gym.
Yeah, so there are some people like that. Okay, so they're not yet accept, or their body is not physically or mentally, they are not accepting that they are becoming they are aging, they are aging. And yeah, so you will meet some kind of people like this. Next is about mental resilience, okay, also known as cognitive resilience. So mental resilience refers to a person's ability to adapt. Mental resilience refers to a person's ability to adapt to change and uncertainty. Full stop. People who possess this type of resilience are flexible and calm during times of crisis. Full stop. They use mental strengths to solve problems, move forward, and remain hopeful even when they are facing setbacks. Okay? Even they are facing setbacks. Now, emotional resilience. So emotional resilience involves being able to regulate emotions. Emotional resilience involves being able to regulate emotions during time of stress. Full stop. I repeat, emotional resilience involves being able to regulate emotions during time of stress. Full stop. Resilient people are aware of their emotional reactions. Resilient people are aware of their emotional reactions and tend to be in touch with their inner life. Full stop. Because of this, they are also able to calm their mind and manage their emotions when they are dealing with negative experiences. Full stop. So this type of resilience, or bracket emotional, this type of resilience in between bracket emotional also helps people to maintain a sense of optimism. This type of resilience in between bracket, emotional resilience also helps people to maintain a sense of optimism when times are tough. When times are tough. Full stop. Because they are emotionally resilient, they understand that diversity and difficult emotions will not or won't last forever. Won't last forever. C'est bon? Vous avez tout compris là? I need to repeat anything? Did you miss anything? Should I repeat? No? Okay, so next is social resilience. Social resilience, also called community resilience. Social resilience, also called community resilience, involves the ability of groups to recover from difficult situations. Social resilience, also called community resilience, involves the ability of groups to recover from difficult situations. Full stop. It involves people connecting with others. It involves people connecting with others and working together to solve problems that affect people both individually and collectively. It involves people connecting with others and working together to solve problems that affect people both individually and collectively. So this was about social resilience. Full stop. So aspects of social resilience include coming together after disasters. Aspects of social resilience include coming together after disasters, supporting each other socially, becoming aware of the risks that the community faces, and building a sense of community. Full stop. Such responses can be important during challenges. Such as natural disasters that affect communities or large groups of people. Okay? Anyone miss something? If you miss something, let me know. Ok? C'est bon, vous êtes tous là? Je vois, c'est bon?
Oui, monsieur.
D'accord. Now, causes of resilience. Subtitle: Causes of resilience. Some people are naturally resilient with personality traits. That help them remain strong, in the face of challenges. However, full stop, these behaviors are not just inborn traits. found in a selected few people. However, these behaviors are not just inborn traits found in a selected few people. Full stop. Resilience is a result of a complex series of internal and external characteristics, including genetics, physical fitness, mental health, and environment. Full stop. Full stop. So social support is another critical variable. Social support is another critical variable that contributes to resilience. Full stop. Mentally strong people tend to have the support of family and friends. Mentally strong people tend to have the support of family and friends to help them up in times of trouble. To help them up in times of trouble. Full stop. Resilient people also tend to have characteristics like being a good communicator. So I'm giving you the characteristics. Okay, the characteristics. Number one, being a good communicator. Second is about having an internal locus of control, self-control in bracket. Having an internal locus of control in between bracket, self-control. Having high emotional intelligence and managing emotions effectively. And next, holding positive views. Okay, holding positive views of themselves and their abilities. Holding positive views of themselves and their abilities in between bracket, positive thinking. Next, it's about possessing the capacity to make realistic plans and stick to them. In between bracket, you can write smart goals. Next, viewing themselves as fighters rather than victims of circumstances. Okay? C'est bon, vous êtes tout? Now, you as a social worker, how to become more resilient? How to become more resilient as a social worker? Note it down. How to become resilient as a social worker? Number one, reframe negative thoughts. Number two, seek support. Number three, focus on what is within control. Number four, manage stress. Number four is manage stress. Okay, so let's see one by one if you want. Do you still want to write or fatigué? Can you still write?
Yes.
Okay, let's see one by one. So reframe, comment qu'est-ce que je dis?
Refrain negative thoughts.
Yeah, reframe negative thoughts. So what do you understand by refrain from negative thoughts? Anyone? What do you understand by reframe negative thought? Kema, Gopal, can you answer me this question?
C'est surtout quand dans une situation difficile, nous avons tendance à lose confidence et que pas capacité pour croire dans nous-mêmes, in a sense.
Why you're giving me so long definition? Yeah, okay. So refrain from negative thought means to avoid having negative thinking. That's all. Now you should describe what is negative thinking. For example, negative thinkings can be in terms of suicide. Negative thinking can be you stop persevering on your goal. Negative thinking can be in terms of you abandon what you started. So reframe, yes, the number one is about reframe negative thoughts. So resilient people are able to look at negative situations realistically. So when you become resilient, even during your tough time, your negative, difficult time, you will be able to find, you will be able to see it realistically. For example, let's give you a scenario where it happens that you miss the bus, okay, and you miss the last bus, not just the bus, but just imagine that you went to the bus stop or to the bus station and you missed the last bus that could take you to your home, and it's already night. So this is a negative situation that happens to you, and all types of negative thoughts will come to your mind. Yes or no? So I just told you, you look at negative situation realistically. So what you're going to do, you're going to sit and cry at this moment, or at that moment you're going to find some solution for you to go back to home. How you can go back? Another way is, there are several ways. Probably you can call someone who can come to pick you half of the way if you get another bus that can take you half of that way, or you take a taxi. Unfortunately, in Mauritius we don't have Uber, but you can you can call a taxi, or tell someone that ask for a lift. And the worst case scenario, if you want to spend the night at the bus station, it's up to you. All right. Nevertheless, anyway, Mauritius is so small that you will be able to find a solution. But what I'm telling you, that in that negative situation happens, you need to think realistically. Here, the example I gave you realistically means what are the possible solutions for you. So in this way also in life, you will have a negative situation, but you should focus on, yeah, the problem is already here, what you can do. So instead of focusing on the problem, I will tell you to focus on the solution of the problem, not on the problem, but on the solution. So you as a social worker, you need to be social driven, solution driven, Peter. You need to be solution driven. So what does mean solution driven? Means for every problems, not only for you, especially if you're working with clients, with public, with people will have problems, clients will have problems, but you as a social worker, especially they came to you, they comes to you for solution, for help. So you should assess the problems of the client, of the people, and after assessing the problem, you need to find possible solutions with an S, and it can have several solutions for that problem. All right. And don't forget that every problem have a solution. D'accord? So, kot mwen chete la? Kot dan not ki mwen chete dot? So resilient people are able to look at negative situations realistically, but in a way that it doesn't center or blame. Okay? But in a way that it doesn't center or blame or brooding, BROODING, over what cannot be changed, full stop. Instead of viewing adversity as insurmountable, reframe thoughts to look for small ways to tackle the problem and make changes that will help, full stop. Full stop. This approach can also be used to help children learn how to become. I repeat myself. This approach can also be used to help children learn how to be better cope with challenges. This approach can also be used to help children learn how to better cope with challenges. Full stop. Encourage them to think about challenges in more positive and hopeful ways. Full stop. Next, ki mwen chite dot second. Second.
Seek support.
Yeah, so seek support. Yes, so as a social worker, if tomorrow you find yourself in a difficult situation, as a social worker, if tomorrow you find yourself in a difficult situation or problems, it doesn't mean you cannot ask for support. You still can seek support as a social worker. You can call a friend, you can call your mentor, you can call someone who you trust and seek guidance, seek support. That's normal, eh? You should not ashamed of that. You can also go to a psychologist, to another social worker, or to a doctor to seek support. This is normal, right? So talking about life difficulties doesn't make them go away. But sharing with a supportive friend or loved one can make people feel like they have someone in their corner. Full stop. That can support the development of resilience. Full stop. Discussing things with others can also help people to gain insight on the challenges they are facing, or even come up with new ideas for managing them. Full stop. Or even come up with new ideas for managing them. Full stop. For example, to help a child develop a support network, adults should try modeling good social skills. Example, to help a child develop a support network, adults should try modeling good social skills like sharing feelings, being empathetic, cooperating, cooperating with and helping others, and expressing gratitude, and expressing gratitude, and remember to reinforce a child's good behavior, and remember to reinforce a child's good behavior. Full stop. Next, what I did told you, the next one. What was the next?
Focus on what is within control.
Yes, so focus on what within control means you should focus on capacities within your, comment on dit ça, portée de main. Okay, so don't think like, don't think that you can do something that's out of your reach, but think of simple solutions that are within your control. Okay, so take it down. When faced with a crisis or problem, comma, it can be easy to get overwhelmed. When faced with a crisis or problem, comma, it can be easy to get overwhelmed by things that feel far beyond our control. By things that feel far beyond our control. Full stop. Instead of wishing there was some way to go back, in time or change things, comma, it can be helpful to try focusing on what can directly impact. Full stop. Adults can also encourage children to develop the skills by talking about their situation and helping them. I repeat, adults can also encourage children / clients to develop these skills by talking about their situation and helping them make a plan for how they can react. Full stop. Next, la dernière c'est manage stress, I think. Yes, manage stress. So building healthy stress management habits. Building healthy stress management habits is an effective way to increase overall resilience. Building healthy stress management habits is an effective way to increase overall resilience. These habits could include behaviors that help overall health. For example, can you give me some good habits? Anyone? Marie-Lilette, can you give me some good habits to manage stress?
Breathing.
Okay, example, yes,
Sports.
breathing technique. Next, what?
Sports also.
Yes, exercise. Yes. Next,
Meditation.
meditation, okay. Et puis, just write down what your friends are telling you. So we had like, what you say, Marie-Lilette? Sports, exercise, breathing.
Breathing. And
The other
sports.
says, yeah, meditation. And what next? How do you manage stress? Man qui fait social work.
Through music, sir. Through music.
Music, yeah. So music, yes. On bracket in the FAQ music therapy, just write it down and you look for it. How you can do music therapy. Yes, music. Next.
Monsieur, there's a new trend I saw on TikTok called ASMR.
Huh?
There's a new trend on TikTok to managing stress. called ASMR.
Kita ha, mobile lo TikTok moi connais, c'est moi qui dis. Qu'est-ce que tu fais alors?
Cette série ça ban sound, comment dire, comment expliquer ça? Comment dire, c'est ban sound pour relieve stress.
Ok. Nek mo besoin de le TikTok, ça me peut dire moi là. Monsieur, bien alors le TikTok, monsieur Pistin.
Attends, we wrote and proper definition.
Yeah, tell me the name, I will search for that. Deuxièmement?
ASMR, en fait, c'est définition pour Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response.
ASMR. Okay, I will look for that. Yes, thank you for sharing. Anyone else want to give some more example how you manage stress?
Monsieur, il y a aussi les motivational videos.
Okay. Yeah, motivational videos. Yeah, you're right. What more? How you manage? I want to have live example, not give me digital examples. I want real examples.
Recreational activities, going out with family, going to party, maybe. Enjoying.
Quand vous stressez ou content le party?
No, but enjoying relaxing time in a hotel.
Okay, yeah. Why not? Après, qu'est-ce que tu connais encore? Have you ever heard about mindfulness? The TikTok mindfulness. So just write it down. You look for this. So this is mindfulness. Practicing mindfulness is another way of managing stress. Okay. Some people they sleep. You need to have a good sleep as well. Okay, it's very important. When you get TikTok, have a good sleep as well. Combien de temps vous avez dormi? Vous êtes minimum? C'était à temps?
C'était à temps, 8 à temps.
Yeah, so have a good sleep, very important. Exercise.
Gardening also, sir?
Yes. Yeah, so this gardening is a therapy in itself. Okay, it's gardening therapy, yeah. And there's animal therapy as well. So gardening, yeah, there's animal therapy that you can use. So some people they play with the animal, they go for a stroll with the animal, dogs, etc. So it's no fun. Here where I am, everyone have animal here. Okay, so they have their dogs, cats, especially dogs. So their dog live with them, and their dogs they are like their babies here. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's continue. So this slide is about developing emotional resilience, social work, and stress. Okay, so you can read it by yourself. Now, levels of resilience in society. So levels of resilience in society. So when talking about levels of resilience, I already gave you 4 levels. So you remember I gave you 4 levels. Can you tell me the 4 levels? It can be? Causez-vous autres.
Social, emotional.
Yeah, et puis.
Mental and physical.
Yeah, so this is one aspect when talking about level, but one student can give me like physical, social, emotional, etc. So this is one aspect. This is good. But when talking about level of resilience, when we put it in that terminology, the right terminology, whatever I told you in terms of social, in terms of cognitive, in terms of physical, emotional, etc., you can put it in this terminology, in this framework, it's known as the micro, meso, and macro. Okay, so the micro, meso, and macro, it will englobe the all 4 aspects that I told you. All right. For example, at social level, it will fall under the meso and macro level as well. when it comes to the cognitive level, it falls under the micro level. Okay, so let's see it here. So at individual level, so personal level, example, overcome stressful circumstances require emotional intelligence. At family level, this is at meso level, example, therapy for adults or children who have suffered from psychological traumas, etc. So here, what you can see in this slide is more in terms of examples I give. It's more about apply the resilience in terms of micro, meso, and macro. But still, you can use that four types of resilience and explaining the context in terms of micro, meso, and macro. I repeat myself. When it comes to, for example, when it comes to individual level, so individual level, what types of resilience you will apply here? Individual level, it will be more among the four types. It will be more in terms of physical and mental. We know, il y a emotional aussi, et il y a social aussi. This will fall in the capability of global micro. But when it comes to meso means working with small group. Okay, even in the meso level, also you can apply the concept of physical, mental, emotional, and social. The same way apply for macro, but the difference is you need to support your answer with example. That's why I gave you some example here for you to support your answer. Now, if you want to get extra marks, bonus marks, so apart from the four types of resilience I mentioned to you, if you go in terms of research, you will see that there is also something known as cultural resilience. All right? You will see also spiritual resilience. So I just gave you the basic one, okay? But if you go deep, okay, that's where I want to see your research in your paper. I can't give you that all okay, spoon feeding, but you need to do self reading as well in your in your program description. There is self reading. So what the self reading? So I gave you four. It's your responsibility and it's your duties to go to find to make some research. And if you make some research, you will see that there are also cultural resilience, there is also the spiritual resilience, etc. Okay, so what I want to see in your paper that you went beyond what I gave you. Okay, Marie-Lilette, c'est bon?
Oui, monsieur.
And don't, okay, so I gave you now all these things, but you need to apply it when it comes to the question. Okay, moi, pour dire the question, effectivement, it will be very biased, not biased, but very easy in the sense that I will ask you, give me the four types of resilience. Probably, I will ask you to apply it in a specific context when it comes to the micro, meso, and macro, the four types of resilience, apply it in this context and support with appropriate examples. This is types of question you need to expect. If I prepare the paper, of course. Okay, so let's see, levels of resilience in society. So here it's more about the society level. So individual, personal level, example, overcome stressful circumstances, require emotional intelligence. Already told you that. Familial, example, therapy for adults or children who have suffered from psychological traumas. Group therapy, at group level, etc. Societal level, I give you the example of Ukraine war here. So you just read it, and in case you have any difficulties, come back to me. Now, what are the individual factors that underlie resilience, successful coping, and well-being? Yeah, so emotional intelligence, très important. So the use of emotions in decision-making. So emotional intelligence is the ability to understand and manage your own emotions and those of the people around you. This is known as emotional intelligence. So I'm sure that you must have heard a lot of times people talking, authors talking, or your teacher is talking about emotional intelligence. Yes. So what it is, emotional intelligence? Anyone? Axel? What do you understand by emotional intelligence?
Looking for positive way to respond to emotional triggers.
It is the ability to understand your own emotions and that of others.
Someone finish it. What? Kizut connaît. So there is a book when it comes to emotional intelligence. Do you know at Open University you have a library? Ashna, vous connaissez? In a librairie à Open University?
Yes.
Combien de fois on prend un livre lire?
Maybe last year.
Vraiment, qui me voit dire là? Devika, combien de fois on lit un livre?
Non, monsieur, vous pas là-bas pour le livre, jamais.
Mon papa Jehu, you see, you don't understand the question. That's the problem. The question was direct. When did you read a book last time? I didn't even mention when did you go to Open to take a book.
Maybe in the start of the year.
Okay, so next, Marie-Lette, when did you read the book last time? Non, Marie-Lette n'est pas là.
Si, l'année dernière, monsieur.
Okay, l'année dernière. Axel, when did you be genuine to me? When did you read a book last time?
Moi, c'était l'année d'avant, monsieur, l'année dernière, mais she withdraw à cause medical issues.
Yes, Shoba, when did you read a book last time?
This year, it was on Factsheet Library on Open University online ebook.
Okay, Vinesh, is here or he's not here? Yes. What book you're reading? Okay. So Vinesh, you didn't answer me when I questioned you previously. You were not here? Yeah. Okay, so that seven of you who are here. So if I'm making a quick poll, I can see like only one is reading a book right now. So I didn't mention that you need to go to the Open University Library to take a. The question was, when did you read a book last time? It doesn't mean take a book from the Open University Library or take a social work book to read. It can be any book, a novel book, a fiction book, a romantic book, any books. Okay, so this was the question, when did you read? So this gives an idea that I agree with you. I also was like you. Mauritian, we don't have the culture of reading books. Unfortunately, that's true. We have been grown like this. We don't have the culture of reading books. That's bad. Okay, that's bad. But if you want to have very good English, to communicate well, to do good phrases, you need to read. I'm not talking about taking library books from the library to read or reading ebooks. No, any book you want, any books. So just do me a favor, go to the library or go to any library you want, take the book of any books of emotional intelligence and start reading that for me. All right. So what is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is the ability of someone to understand their strengths and weaknesses. All right. This is the emotional intelligence a person needs to have. You need to understand your strengths and as well as your weaknesses. Okay, so it's not easy, but you need to know yourself. This is emotional intelligence. Yes, so let's continue. So empathy, the ability to understand. Yeah, so empathy is very important. So as a social worker, you should be empathetic. That's a skill in itself, being empathic. So the ability to understand, share the feelings of another social competence. Social competence also reflects having an ability to take another perspective concerning a situation, etc. The inner and intrapersonal aspect. So all these you can read it and go and make your research when what is inter and intrapersonal. Very important. Now, key features of resilient social workers. What are the key features? So apart from what I gave you in terms of characteristics, okay, to become resilient, the key features here is to be confident, to be optimistic. Can anyone tell me what do you understand by optimistic? Vinesh? Yeah, so optimistic means positive thinking, all right? So you think positive, you're always positive focus. Have you ever met someone that even in difficult situation, even in negative situation, he's giving you optimistic ideas? Have you ever met someone like that? Anyone? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So how you feel when you meet this type of person?
Feeling encouraged.
Yeah. Yeah, so there are very few people like that, especially in Mauritius, but we do have like people. So if you ever met these kind of persons who are optimistic, forward looking, think positive, so you need to learn from them. You need to learn from them how they become optimistic, how they make positive decision, how they think positively, even in worst case scenario. You need to learn from that. Okay, so the key feature is confident, optimistic, reflective, and looking to improve, good achiever, good communicator, hold positive views. Good communicator here, it's also about having the skills of listening. To be a good communicator, first, you need to listen your client well. Effective listening is very important. Okay, this is a skill in itself, having the skill of listening your client. Good communicator, next step, hold positive view of themselves and their abilities. Next is about the capacity to make realistic plan and stick to these plan. View them as a fighter rather than a victims. So these are the features. So this you can read it by yourself. So some of the resilience strategies. So positive attitude, entertainment. So you already know, we already discussed on that. Relaxation, which some of you mentioned about meditation. Physical activities, you mentioned about exercises. Relationship, yes. When talking about relationship, you need to cultivate positive relationship. If you feel that you are in a toxic relationship, so when talking about relationship, it can be friendship, it can be living with your partners, your spouse, etc. If you feel that the relationship that you are cultivating is toxic, then I will advise you to move out from that toxic relationship. Even at work, if you feel that you're surrounded with toxic people, so the advice is to remove yourself from this situation that causing toxicity, or to remove from that people toxic people. Okay, so this is about relationship. So relationship here means cultivate positive relationship. Okay, protective strategies. So before devising any strategies, some important points to be taken into consideration are: who are your target group? what existing policies, laws of your country, the available resources, and the existing surrounding environment that you are living. These are protective. Yeah. So protective strategies, when I'm talking about protective strategies, is protective strategies for your client and for yourself. Okay. So to become resilient, you need to have some protective strategies for your client. Let's say if you're dealing with vulnerable people, of course, your protective strategies need to be tailor-made according to the existing available resources. You cannot make protective strategies if the resources is out of your hand, or if there is no resources. So all your protective strategies should be based on the existing resources and the prevailing environment that is the prevailing environment. Here the environment means, it doesn't mean only about surrounding with flowers, trees, etc. Here the environment means the locality, the society where you're living. So when talking about the society where you're living, of course, in that society there will be culture, there will be religion, which we need to be very familiar with, and we need to respect these culture, these religion norms, values. So all these falls under the category of environment. All right. And target group will be if you're working, for example, for the Ministry of Social Security. So your target group will be based on what your organization has set as target group. If you're working for that organization, you cannot use another target group or that fall under the purview of your organization and you work for that. No, it depends where you're working. For example, those working in the Ministry of Social Security, the target group probably will be the elderly, all right, or vulnerable people. And another people working for the organization working for children, their target group will be children. D'accord? So that's important. Categories of vulnerability. So when talking about categories of vulnerability, who need protective strategies, etc. So cognitive, example, people suffering from mental disorder. These are vulnerable people. Institutional, example, prisoners. Yes, Marie-Lynette, you want to say anything?
No.
Okay, so your son wants to participate in the class. He is most welcome. Let him participate. Of course.
Désolé, monsieur.
No, let your son participate as well. That's okay, no problem. So institutional, example, prisoners in prison, bullied student in school, domestic violence at home. Differential, example, those being discriminated by their race, class, religion, etc. Medical, those patients suffering from illness. Economic, in terms of basic needs, housing, basic education, access to water, etc. Social, those suffering from stigmatization in society, example, migrants, so on. Now, what are the protective strategies to vulnerable populations? It can be in terms of prevention strategies. Next, it can be in terms of mitigation strategies, means tackling the risk before it happens. Coping strategies, informal arrangement, public arrangement, etc. So all these falls under the protective strategies of vulnerable people. So the 7 C's model of resilience, as per Dr. Ken Ginsberg, I think last time I gave a question on that, the 7 C's model. Okay, so look for that. Do your reading on the 7 C's model by Dr. Ginsberg. So the Dr. Ken Ginsberg spoke about control, competence, confidence, connection, character, contribution, and coping. And this fall under the 7 C's. And it is a model developed by Ginsberg when it comes to resilience. So when you will do your reading, your research, you will see that Gisbert spoke about all these 7 C's, means control, competence, confidence, connection, character, contribution, are interrelated, and this should be within a person, especially social worker, because they works with vulnerable people. So you do your reading on that. Okay, I'm giving you some stuff, some materials for you to read as well. Okay. Any questions so far? Question? Anyone? Ashna, c'est bon?
Yes.
Devika?
C'est bon, monsieur.
Lilette, c'est bon? Axel?
C'est bon, monsieur.
C'est bon,
Ah.
monsieur.
Shoba, c'est bon? Dinesh?
Oui, monsieur, c'est bon.
Okay, so can we stop here? All right, so thank you. See you next time. So on Saturday, there will be no class. You have face-to-face, I believe, right? So for me, I already, today I replaced that, and I will see you next time. On what date it will be? Probably after the timetable.
5 octobre.
Yes, so see you next month now. Take care, and don't forget to send your assignment. It's compulsory and within the deadline. All right, else penalty will apply. Thank you. Have a nice time.
Good
Thank
night,
you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.